Today it's Monday, and it looks like it's walkie-talkie Monday because we've got it's from a customer, Alan 42DS or Midland Alan 42DS. We've never had the DS version. When we did it, that's ours on the right. I actually used it as a monitor receiver. You know, I mislaid at this one of ours for some months, and we never got the field test done because of that, but we'll do it when the weather picks up. So I don't know whether it's anything like the same inside as my version, but the thing to do is sent two of these in is to see what it's doing right now. So I'll just do something with this power lead so we can actually connect it up to our famous crocodile clips. These are a bit too sharp for this. Now these are 12.6 volt radio. So we need to set the power supply to 12.6. Which it now is. These are bound to short out. This will be fun. So this enables us to connect up to the aerial, to the test equipment, and hopefully these have got an earphone socket. I think they have. Yes, they have. Which means we can plug it into our test equipment there. So then the power adapter goes on the bottom. Okay, so we're on channel 10 on the UK set of channels. And it's in power save mode. We'll switch picture in picture on when I've selected the appropriate camera, and then we can see what power it's doing. I can't even remember what power they're supposed to be. Right, I'll put the test set into 3 watt mode. And it's doing with there, so it's doing 2.2 watts. Now I remember that if you connect to the top socket, it's a different power to when you connect to the bottom socket. And if I could find an adapter, here we go. Because when we have this all in bits, I'll probably have to power it up with crocodile clips and use the top socket. So I need a comparison. There we go. Let's see what it does now. 2.8 watts. Adapter. 2.8 watts. Top socket. Look at the deviation. I'll go up to channel 20 first. Wallow. Oh, we're not set, are we? We're doing AM. Wallow. 1, 2, 1, 2. It's about 1.8. And receive is no doubt good, so we'll just set that up. This won't alter, I'm sure. I wouldn't think there's going to be adjustments for receive, but we'll, just for the record, we'll see what it's doing. So these are the cyanide readings. So I don't know whether we can see the meter on there, but it's it's about S7 for 20. Sorry for. Oh no, I'm not on the right setting. It's yeah, it's not quite S9. It's S7, but I can't do anything about that. Right, sensitivity. So we'll drop the squelch off. So that's more or less the 12. That's interesting when I pick it up. So at the moment we're doing, for 12 dB cyanide, just check I'm on the right scale, and we are doing 6.3. 0.63 microvolts. For 10 dB, it's about there. It's doing, well, virtually 5. For 20, if the radio does that, I'll go up a scale. It's doing 1.2. So that's where we are with it. So I'll open it up and switch it off and see whether we can improve on that. So for those interested, this is the I was hoping we weren't having to take the front off. This is the back. There's quite a few adjustments in there, but we've only got the service manual for the previous multi model and not the DS model. What I have been able to determine is that the right hand preset to the right of those two there is in fact the power. What I'm looking for is deviation. Well, it was on a different board on the previous model. But there's no adjustments on there. We don't normally explore sets which we haven't done ourselves, or should I say we don't explore customer sets. We only work blindly with our own sets. So I think we'll do the right thing and say there's nothing for us under there. Put that screw back. Right, we'll carry on exploring it, and then I'll get back. Right, I think I've got there. It's just AM mod, which I think is the one to the left there. I'll have to reprogram it for AM, just in case I've upset it. So we'll do the receive ones first. I normally do transmit first, but I don't want it to start getting that hot if I turn it up to 4 watts at this point. So we'll do the receive. Now, the S meter we can set, and if you can see that, I have to hold the power adapter. We've got S9. Tell you what, take picture and picture off because there's no point. We want S9, and it's S7 and a bit. And so the S meter is the second one. If you see that diagram, it's that one there. So it's this one here. So I've got to do this 3-dimensional hold it together I've failed. Try again. So I've got to put the tool in there and look at the front. And we now have S9 where we want it. So that's the first one. Now this other thing is Squelch. It's going to put the Squelch to full. And I want the Squelch to come in because we're doing 100 microvolts and the Squelch hasn't come in. And manual Squelch is the preset there. So you've got the volume control. It's the upper one. Just want it to come in. And that's now spot on. The next one down is transmit, well, everything frequency. And it's actually quite a bit off this. It's let's just put the picture-in-picture back on. I need my left hand for that. I'll borrow my left hand. I'm glad I'm a church organist and have good dexterity. So we want to select the frequency display. There we go. So when I press transmit, we want 2779, or we've moved channel. We want 2779125. So we'll just pull that up. It was within tolerance, but you know, if whilst we can do it, we do it. So that's that. So the deviation I have set, and I'll show you that on the meter. Wallow, wallow, 2.2. So I did set that, and the deviation, there's a hole through the heatsink just there, and the control is deviation. Auto Squelch. So we'll turn it to the auto Squelch position. It needs to be a little coarser than that. So it's just coming in at 0.3 of a microvolt, which is a bit sensitive. So auto Squelch is the one there, the lower one. And that's a better compromise, coming in at 1 microvolt and holding it through until 0.5 of a microvolt. It's kind of where you want it to be. So that's manual Squelch and auto Squelch set. It's got a transmit meter, which is a damn sight more than most mobiles have these days. By the way, these are made by Maxon for Midland. So we now need to turn the power up. So make sure we're on the right meter and power. So I want it to do 4 watts, which is there on the right scale. So we're currently at 2. I actually turned it down so it didn't get too hot. So we're going to turn the power up. And that's the highest it will go, which is 3 watts. And it's dropping off. And now we want the power meter to read 4. And the power meter is the right hand one. So once again, and I now have the power meter more or less where I want it. So what we're now going to do is I'm going to program it for AM Oh, low. Is that low power? Let's see what it's doing. Yeah, in low power mode. And I'll just check in case what I think is AM mod could be low power, of course. So we're in low power. It's now doing 1.2 watts. I'll just check. No, it's not that. So that's fine. So how do we make this go into a different band? Ah, here we go. So I AM so let's see whether that's coming out at 27,205. So put that back on. We're definitely on AM 27,205. Okay, so AM mod. I'll just tune the machine. Except I've managed to knock the adapter off again. If you're doing these all days, you'd have to make jigs up, but we're not. Yeah, so definitely sounds like AM now. So I need to just key this up, tune the machine. Wallow. There we are. And this should be AM mod. It is. It's about 90%, which is where it should be. So I'll switch that off. I'll put it back together. So manual squelch, frequency, deviation, receive meter, transmit meter, auto squelch, right hand one is power, left hand one is AM mod. Right, all we need to do now is to try and put it back together again. Now there's a spring for the battery eject thing. Right, so I've performed a miracle and put it back together. So let's have a look at what we've achieved. So we'll may as well start with the deviation. May as well put it back to FM. Wallow. Testing 1, 2. Wallow. There we are. We've got deviation where we want it. So we've now got that at 2.2. Frequency was 27,79086. and it's 27,79125. But it was before I'll tell you what. Look at that. So let's look at power now. So we're on low power. And the power on low is, just put the camera back on there, 1.2 watts. So it's a good power saving. It's 750 milliamps at that. And then on high power, it's just doing over 3 watts on that. And drawing 1.09 amps. And then for a laugh, we'll put it on the lower connector. It's now doing 2.5 watts. Now you can take this up to 13.6 volts because it says plus or minus 10%. So 12.8 plus 10% is going to be 13.88 would be the absolute maximum. And then you kill it. So I'm going to take this up to 13.8, not up to 8.8. And just let's see what the power does. So there's the 5 watt position. That's the 4 watt position. 3.5. So you can actually do 3.5. So it's not quite the 4 they tell you. Well, it certainly isn't on this one. So at 13.8 volts, it was 3.5 watts. Now what I've done does in no way affect the receiver. It'll still be receiving just as well as it did, because there's no adjustments on the receiver other than the squelch things I've done. So hopefully that's another model covered, and it's nice to see it's got a real meter on it. Wow, look at that now, it goes twang right across. So I'll drop that back to 13.8, sorry, 12.6. We'll be doing an on the air test with this later. And we'll do it this way because I don't know. I think we'll use the other cord when we do it on the on the air test, because this is the worst case scenario. It's clear to me that this curly cord is quite lossy. Now the customer didn't send the aerial, so you know, that's just not something we can do a field test with, and the weather's not good enough anyway for Mr Chippie to be traipsing around with a body cam. I don't know what I'm putting that aerial on for when it actually needs to be. There'll be no video from us tomorrow because we'll be battling on with this same customer's sets, and you don't want to see a repeat of several of the same. It's not like they're faulty, they're new sets. So we'll just have a little flick round, put the squelch on, press scan. Okay, we'll go up to channel 19. Well, Nana Roger. Well, Nev is stopping in. Okay. So we'll do it on the air test later on. And that's another set covered. Midland 42DS current model, made for them by Maxon. Thank you for watching.